Yes, welcome back to How Did I Get Here? Of course, this is the show where we like to ask the question, well, how did you get here? It seems to be Music Month here on the show because we've got another local artist based right here in Perth joining me today. He's got two big singles out right now, the latest, Front Row. Well, I'd describe it as an out-and-out banger. EDIE is my guest today. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start off right at the beginning. You know, how does music first enter your life?
Probably through my parents, their music.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, a lot of Fleetwood Mac, Rolling Stones. And I just, it was also like my grandma used to sing me a lot of nursery rhymes when I was little. And I think mum and dad think that's where I got the ability to sing, maybe in key and stuff, because they're not very, my dad can sing, my mum, maybe not. Just all that music and then,
Looking at, those vintage vibes, you mentioned the Fleetwood Mac, the Stones, does that musical influence play into what you do now?
Yeah, I think so, definitely. Like, I feel like it's impossible for it to not.
Yeah.
Like lyrically and melodic wise. And also just like instrumentation wise, I feel like I draw a lot of rock elements from those influences.
Yeah. What was your first instrument?
First instrument was recorder
Hot cross buns,
yeah. Guitar.
Yeah.
I remember, I was kind of late to it. It was about 14 and I was like, I really regret not learning to play guitar. And mum was like, you can't have regrets at 14. Like, what? You can still play guitar. So I was like, oh, yeah, okay. So, that was my first instrument apart from recorder.
Apart from the recorder, of course. For you as a student at school, in high school and before, what role did music play for you?
Oh, well, like originally it was just kind of like something to help me study.
Yeah.
And I used to just play it while I studied. And then I got really into it during school and I was part of the choir and I was very much a theatre kid. So lots of musicals and I did a lot of drama. So I guess it all just kind of entwined. Yeah.
Of course, at student age, we love to hear about people's student lives. You know, how would you describe yourself as a student?
I think I was pretty quiet, but I think if you knew me, well, it's still now, if you know me, then I'm a bit more outgoing. You would have found me in the drama classes. I didn't actually study music, but I wasn't much of a theory person. So you saw me on stage in the theatre.
Is there a favourite musical you did at school?
I did Legally Blonde, which was very fun. I played like the best friend, Paulette. That was really fun. And we did Hairspray as well, which, just the soundtrack to both were really cool.
I think that might be the second cast member of Legally Blonde we've had on this show.
Siobhan.
It is Siobhan Cutchin. Yeah. Was that the same production?
That's the same one.
That.
Yeah, that's how we went to the same school.
Everything connects, right.
Yes, yeah.
At school, least favourite subject?
Oh, least favourite, probably the sciences.
Right.
I had to do physics in year 12 and it wasn't my favourite. My favourite was drama.
Yeah,
definitely.
Classic.
Yeah.
Finishing school, you mentioned there year 12, coming out of year 12, was music always the plan?
Yeah, I think it was either I was tossing between music and acting.
Right.
Out of school, I applied for WAPA and I applied for the screen acting and the music artist course that I eventually got into. It was always those like two loves, I guess. But I think ever since I was little, I knew I wanted to be a singer and do music. And I kind of felt like because I didn't study it, I couldn't go further with it. But that's not the case at all. Like, the WAPA was really accepting of any level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like looking back now, are you glad that you went down that music path instead of acting?
Yeah, I just think that course that I did really refined my songwriting skills and everything, and I feel like I can still do acting also and mix it with music almost and like take on a character when I'm singing songs or like on stage.
Always think this is an interesting story. The first time you ever performed live, can you tell me what that was?
I think, apart from musicals, the first time was when I was 15 and I was part of like a little kind of music school, and we had like a showcase night and I sang Dreams by Fleetwood Mac.
Classic.
So yeah. And also I think Pillow Talk by Zayn. Two different
vibes
different
there.
vibes. It was just acoustic guitar, me. I was very nervous, but I was kind of the oldest out of a lot of little kids, basically. So everyone thought I was like, whoa, amazing. Like, so yeah, I think it was at Metro's Frio.
Right.
It was like they hired it. All the parents and stuff came. So yeah.
It's a big place to have your first show at 15.
I know.
Yeah.
Whoa, the stage was really high.
Yeah. Looking back on that, did that launch you on a career of liking being on stage? And yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Because I was so nervous, but then when I came off, I wanted to be back up there again. And it was so different to acting and what I was used to. I became like so much more nervous because I think I wasn't playing a part and it was myself, which was kind of scary. Like I didn't have a character up that I was performing to. It was just me. So yeah, that was scary.
Blame Me was the first track that came out last year, nearly a year ago now. Can you tell me about the inception of this one? Where did this come from?
It came from it's a very long story, but some older guy screwed me over with, he promised this big band and stuff, and then he just like dropped me.
Right.
And I was like, whoa, well, I'm going to make you regret that you did that. So I think that whole situation really launched my music career, because I was like, I have to take this in my own hands and rely on me to make it happen. So yeah, it was a bit of an angry song.
Yeah.
But no regrets. I like it.
It's, you always Google an artist or you look at their profile and there's a little genre applied to it. But it's a hard question. What genre would you apply to yourself?
I feel like it's changed between the two songs. Like first with Blame Me, I think it was very kind of pop rock punk. And now I think I've moved more into pop rock, maybe indie rock. But I feel like it still has that kind of 90s influenced rock.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get into some of those 90s influences as we talk about your next track a little bit later. But, there's genre and then there's sound. What sound would you say is your goal? What are you after? Yeah.
Oh, God, that's a hard question. Sound, like, ultimately I just want like a really like fun dance feeling kind of I don't know, like almost a nostalgic feel, like for, like I was saying before, like my influences and stuff, like it's kind of like fresh and new, but you can see where I kind of get my influences, like the rock and the 90s rock.
You mentioned the influences there, but what would you describe as your musical inspirations?
My inspirations. My biggest one is Marina and the Diamonds.
Right,
I don't know if Marina now. She was like through my teenage years was such a big like part of it, and just like lyrically and I guess sonically she's just like a really big influence, and she kind of ties in like classical voice with rock and pop. So that's definitely a major influence. And then I think when I was little, people like Avril Lavigne and Gwen Stefani and those kind of early 2000s artists were, I think, I don't like, at the time I didn't think so, but now when I look back, I was like, oh, I can definitely hear those influences in my music.
What's your process for actual writing? How do you take on a song?
It kind of changes every time, but recently I'm really into music videos. So before I even write songs, sometimes I imagine a whole music video and a whole like story and plot, and then I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be cool. And then it just kind of writes itself in a few weeks. Like I have the idea, I have the inspiration, and then I kind of think about it, let it sit. And it's usually like a line that sticks out or a title of the song. And then I kind of work on it more and it just kind of flourishes.
So you'd say you're kind of more driven by the narrative of the song.
Yeah, like the kind of the visual elements. Like I kind of like imagining what it's about and the video that goes with it. I don't know why. Like I used to struggle a lot. You know, I'd be like, okay, I have to sit down, do some chords, like write it down. And now I'm like, okay, I'm just going to let like the feeling that a music video that I get from a music video. Just control it a bit more.
Speaking of music videos, you know, the latest track is Front Row. Yeah, it's a couple of months out now, but the video came out about a month ago. It's not your traditional love song. Can you explain to us what this one is about?
Basically, this one is about kind of being in love with someone who doesn't know you exist. So say a celebrity or even someone that's not famous, I guess. But this one in particular song is about someone who's famous and just kind of convincing yourself that they would fall in love with you even though they don't know who you are. So it's inspired by a lot of fan fiction that I read when I was a teenager.
Are you able to reveal to us who the song's about, or is that a well-kept secret?
Oh, no, it's not a secret. It's about Harry Styles. Yeah. He's the one. Yep.
Look, he does crop up on your TikTok and Instagram as I was searching through, so I thought, you know, that's a possibility. But looking at the video for this one, because I'm always quite enthralled by music videos, you know, it does start off with these classic kind of 90s rom-com vibes, as you were talking about. What was the process of making this one like?
It was really fun because, I'm so into music videos and having one actually come to life was really cool. And me and my director, Steph, we just got along, we clicked. She also read fan fiction. She just understood. She just understood the whole vision. So I really trusted her with it. It was super fun. Like all those rom-com date scenes were really fun and just didn't feel like work. We were just kind of like... Yeah.
It takes a turn, though. I feel like I don't want to spoil it, but, you know, I'll talk about, you know, you're in these elaborate costumes and set pieces. The actual filming of it, you know, was that like a good deal of fun, or was it quite, you know, because it's a serious video?
No, it was really fun. One of the days was really long, so it was tiring, but it was super fun. At the end, we filmed in December and it was just so hot in there. I won't spoil, but there was candles everywhere.
Yeah.
And it was so hot. So that was like, a bit tiring. But overall, everyone was like super nice on set. It was just, it was fun.
Well, I feel like the reason I don't want to spoil it is, you know, because it's so shocking when it does switch around. But, you know, I guess the question is, how do you go about, you know, establishing and choosing that visual story for a song that's already been written?
I get this was kind of the same. I had thought about the music video before I wrote the song. And I was like, there needs to be a plot twist. Maybe I'll wake up and it's a dream or something like that. I was like, no, that's not scary. It's not like creepy enough, because I knew the song is kind of a satirical song and I wanted to kind of really highlight the creepiness of it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that the twist kind of works. Yeah.
I know spending time here in Perth, you're always going to be coming into contact with other up-and-coming artists. You know, I know that you have been around a few friends of the show. You know, mentioned Siobhan Cochin there and Dice and South Summit. How do you think the WA music scene is unique to other ones?
Unique to other ones. I feel like everyone in Perth is just really there to support each other and really happy to... it doesn't feel like a competition. I feel like everyone's just really stoked and supportive with other local artists' music. That's how I feel. I guess I haven't been like intimidated or feel like it's some kind of race and you have to beat the other person. I don't know. I just feel like we're all there to really support each other, and it's quite, you know, a small community, I think, compared to other states, obviously. But I just think everyone's really nice.
But then for a small community, there's so many great acts coming out of Perth, you know, and you look at some of the more commercially successful 160 Spacey Janes.
Yeah.
There's so much coming out. Is there something in the water? What's going on?
Yeah, I know. I just, and it's crazy, like Dice also, like just like getting out there as well. And Siobhan, I don't know. Like I feel like there's something special about Perth. I don't know what I don't know if I can pinpoint what it is, but I just like, even just seeing stuff on Triple J, I keep all these Perth artists and WA artists keep popping up. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. Like,
Looking at, performing live, I know you've spent a little bit of time off stage over the past few years. There was, of course, COVID, but then, there has been some time off stage for you. What's that time away from the stage, away from live performances done for you and your music?
Yeah, I definitely think it's just caused me to kind of step back and really work out what I want sound-wise. Because, just before COVID, I was really keen to just start doing some live shows, and then it was all shut down. And it's like, damn it. And I felt really lost. But then, like, I'm grateful that I think I've changed a lot. And musically, I think I would have sounded a lot different 2020 me. So, I think it's just made me focus on my songwriting and, making really good songs that I'm proud to kind of release.
But then looking to the future, is there any plans to go live again?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a big goal this year.
Right.
So, I'm hoping in October, some sort of,
Put it
live
in your diaries.
show.
Yeah.
That's a big goal.
But for you, wholly as a musician, what's next for you?
Next, I'm going to record an EP.
EP?
Yes. Can't reveal much, but... but I'm really excited for that. So, hopefully that... I haven't recorded it yet, but it will be soon. And I'm keen to do another music video. Got another idea, got another song.
There's lots cooking away, I imagine.
Yeah.
But, I know you can't reveal too much, but looking at your goals, what do you want to try and kind of capture with this next project with the EP?
I really want to capture, like... growth and I guess, I don't know, it sounds cringe a bit, but like finding yourself. And
that's not cringe.
I want to capture that, I guess, like post breakup vibes.
Yes,
that's
classic.
That's the vibe that it is now. So
before I do let you go, we love to ask a couple of reflection questions from everyone here. Over the years, you've been performing now and playing music for a few years. Is there something you've learned or something you might have changed along the way?
Something I've learned. I feel like for me, it's just not trying to like pretend to be someone else. I guess that sounds a bit simple, but I feel like I was so focused on kind of music that was not pop music. Like I wanted to make something really refined and edgy and, not pop music and popular music. And I feel like I was just, so in that headspace, I guess. And so now I'm just like, you know what? You can just make whatever you want, whatever actually makes you happy.
Yeah. And, you might have just answered this one there, but we like to pose a hypothetical here to, I guess, your 15-year-old self is sitting next to you. What advice are you giving her?
That. And
yeah.
What advice? My 15-year-old self. Maybe speak up a bit more, about things that you believe in. I think I was very quiet and timid and I didn't really want to make people upset or... I was very, trying to impress boys a lot. And, it was a bit annoying, I guess. So I'd just say, just be yourself. Like, don't try and, I think I was so focused on trying to be popular or fit in the school kind of hierarchy, would you say? But once you leave, it doesn't matter. Like, you don't need to stress about it. That's what I tell her.
That is how you got here. Before I do let you go, where can we find you, Edie?
You can find me Instagram, TikTok,
Yeah.
EDIE phone home, like ET phone home.
EDIE.
That's it.
You can find us, student_edge on Instagram, Student Edge on TikTok. Search us up, Student Edge, or How Did I Get Here on YouTube, and head to studentedge.org for all our articles, podcasts, deals, competitions, career tips, education advice, and much, much more. Edie, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much.